Oh my God, this is pissing me off. Okay, so um, I want to talk about the truth about Carrizales Rucker jail. And the truth is that it comes from a long line of sacrificial religion. Back in time, um, part of Texas, or Texas used to be Mexico. And in Mexico, they practice sacrificial religion. It came from, I believe it comes from another country. Uh, the Aztecs, Mayans came down to Mexico and started practicing over here the rituals. And the rituals were to sacrifice individuals, and that their gods would give them strength, that their gods would. That they would gain the spirit of them, and they would somehow be stronger, or the gods would give them things like rain or crops and different things, right? So it comes from the Mayans, and the Mayans, there was a group, and it was called the Naranjos, right? And the Naranjos were here more like in the Brownsville area, and put it that way. um they were one of they had groups, they had a different yeah, different, like clans, different families, I guess you would say. And one of them was the Naranajo. And as we all know, the Spaniards came over here and they took over. There was about 10,000 of the Mayans and about 5,000 of the Spaniards, and the Spaniards actually came over here and tricked them into to they just took over the land. And so then we all know the war happened between Mexico and United States, and United States won over those states, but the rituals still remained. And then there was a time in the 20s, 1920s, where the U.S. citizens came over to Brownsville. They were ordered, the troops, and they wiped out a lot of Mexicans. They were actually doing Mexican. They were lynching Mexicans. They were getting rid of them because they felt like this was the United States now, and so they were going to get rid of as many Mexicans as they can. And you can actually look everything up that I'm telling you. You can look up and you can see that it is the truth. So we go from there, right? So we go from the rituals, the sacrificial, the bloodshed, and then we go from there. We go to Cervantes Carrizales. It is written that Cervantes Carrizales is a poet that had a wife, and he was jealous, and so and so and so, and that's really what he talks about. But if you read the long story, it's a long story, and it's kind of old back. If you were Google it, it's like encrypt of like old times, and he would actually, the truth, it says some in there, but actually the truth is that he would hold church in his house, and he would feed them, and he would poison them, and they would die, and that was his sacrifice to actually Satan. He would sacrifice for Satan, and so he did so many sacrifices. He portrayed himself as a pastor, and people came, and people believed, and people ate, and people died. And so you can actually Google that too, Cervantes Carrizales. And then there is the Indians. The Navajo Indians came. They traveled. They have. If you look it up, it says that where they traveled, and it's nowhere does it say that they traveled anywhere near here, no, Texas. But somehow they ended up here. They were brought over to Olmito, and you can Google Navajo Indians in Olmito, and they were brought to Olmito, and the United States gave them like a, what do you call, like a reservation. It was almost like Olmito was like a reservation, and but not yet did the land belong to them. Actually, there was a family of them there, and the United States came over. What they say, the white man came over and told them, hey, you know what? You can stay here. We're going to give you your land rights. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and made so many promises. But they never did that. And actually, the Indians, I guess, felt threatened or felt afraid, so they had to fight. I guess back then we had to fight for the land and then it become yours. So they fought with the Americans and they actually won that battle, and then from that battle they were angry. They left the white man, the United States. They left and then they came back. And when they came back, they killed their families, they killed their kids, they raped their wives, they hurt their children. And the United States did not really do like sacrificial religion, but the people here did in Brownsville. We're gonna say Brownsville in Cameron County, okay? And it goes from that. So that was in this land. There's bloodshed, okay? On top of the blood that has been shed, who knows what area, what land had Mayans and they did their sacrificial religion. So all of Mexico, really, in a lot of places, okay, well, Texas before it was, when it was Mexico, it was con el ajo. What was it? Let me see. I have it. Oh, okay. So these are all my files and everything, and I'm losing all of them. Uh, Cogelio or something like that. If you Google it, you'll find it. Well, you will find that today that is Mexico, and that is where Encetas took over in Mexico. So it's not going very well over there. Um, but anyhow, that's not. Well, I'm just explaining that Texas used to be this name of Mexico, and now it is the name somewhere else in a different location. Okay, so now we have the sacrificial religion, we have Cervantes Carrizales, and we have Olmito, bloodshed land from the Navajo Indians. Okay, and then we go from there. Let's see, where do we go from there? Where do we go from there? We go from the Navajo Indians. Okay, Carrizales, Rucker. Okay, uh, um, Enrique Carrizales and David Rucker were a state trooper and a police officer, a Fresno police officer, state trooper for Los Fresnos. Okay. Now his name. What? Let me not. I forgot to mention. Okay. In the Cervantes Escarizales, when you Google it, when you practice evil, evil will stay down in the blood. When you practice certain black magic, certain things like that, it stays in the bloodline. So if you Google Carizales, it is called the Carrizales curse. I don't know why it took me that long. It's called the Carrizales curse. So you will find that also if you look up the Carrizales curse, all the different things that are said about it. Okay, so then we go to Rucker and Mr. Cervantes, the officers. So Leonel Herrera was said to be the one who killed them. But in fact, today it is proof, and an officer went to jail behind it and is in jail right now because it was a setup. It was found that it was a setup. And the sister, Norma Herrera, Leonel's sister, the one who got killed, they killed him with lethal injection in prison for the murder of these officers, right? So his sister writes a book, and the book is called The Last Words on Death Row, written by Norma Herrera, which is Leonel's sister. So the story goes, they went and they killed on Highway 100 in Los Fresnos, kills this officer, David Rucker, and then from there, 6 miles down, Enrique Carrizales is parked, and a car flies by and he pulls him over, and in pulling him over he goes to give him his ticket and gets shot, right, and takes off. So there is a person who is in the passenger seat, which was the one who identified Lionel, which Lionel was not there, because indeed, in fact, the brother of Lionel passed away, and he had went before he passed away to his lawyer and told his lawyer that he was indeed the one who killed the officers, and that his brother was there, and but he didn't do it. But I guess he was scared, so he really didn't want to go say, because he didn't want to go. I don't know what the reason was, but look, Leonel Herrera was not the one who killed them. It was the brother. I guess he was paid. He was paid somehow in the book it explains. If you I scanned through it, and so much research that I've been doing that I just but you can do it. It is called The Last Words on Death Row. Okay, and that was in 1981. Okay, in 1982, the land was found for Carrizales jail. Okay, now across from the jail. Well, okay, look, the jail, a part of it is Brownsville, and part of it is Olmito. Okay, the land across the street, actually from Old Alice Road, is a part of the land that the jail actually belongs to. And a man, I can't remember his name right now, but he went and he got permission. It's in Google. He went and he got permission to get electricity there on that land because that land was a clinic. So say clinic, okay? And there was no actual clinic ever there because I Googled it. And then it says that there is a padrino's bail bonds. There's nothing on that land. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you look across the street from Carrizales jail, there's not a thing there. There's a fence, there's grass, there's nothing else. Okay. And then right next door to that, you have your sheriff's office. And right behind that, you have the border patrol. Okay. Now, if you get on MapQuest and you Google uh, Carrizales Rucker jail, and you get on satellite in the back of the jail, across the street from the jail, which is called Naranajo Street, okay? Naranajo was the Aztec Indians who performed these rituals of bloodshed and whatever it was, which was very, very horrible. So the street on the if you're facing the jail, it's to the right. The If you're facing the jail from Old Alice Road, to the right is Naranajo, to the left is the sheriff's office, and the actual street that is on is Old Alice Road. But if you look in back of the jail, like I said, on satellite, you Google on MapQuest, you go to satellite and look behind the jail. There are cars parked there, but yet there's a parking lot. Now, why are cars just parked all over behind there, right? So across the street, they have a tractor. They have other cars across the street, which I don't know who owns that, but there's holes. There's holes dug. They're in the process of digging a hole. There's holes that are covered up, and so who knows what that is? But I'm sure it needs to be investigated. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay, and then we go to Mr. Pacino. Mr. Pacino was found dead in his cell. Okay, I don't know too much of his story. It's not really, it doesn't say too much of it. It just says that he was found dead, and he was 31. Okay, and then we go from Mr. Pacino to Fernando Longoria, and Fernando Longoria was horribly, horribly mistreated, and passed away in there. With medical complications, and his wife actually won $1 million suit for the death of her husband because it was caused by their neglect, by what they had been doing. Okay, so their neglect, we're gonna say like that. Okay, to me, I'm saying by the hands of these jailers, the abuse that they give you, the trauma that they put you through, the anguish, the anxiety, the horrible, horrible things that they put you through your mind. You're locked by yourself, and I mean, they're constantly just fucking with your head, and it's horrible. It's horrible. Please excuse me, God, for cussing. I'm sorry. Okay, so so then we go to me. Okay, I'm in like, as we know from my other show, my other video, um I was in population. I got sent there. I was abused, and I was nearly dead. I was nearly dead. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. I thank God that I'm overweight. I don't thank God because I'm overweight, because I almost didn't do this video because I'm overweight. But I thank God that I'm overweight because my weight actually saved me. Well, God saved me. God saved me first of all, right? But my weight I was so dehydrated. I was so um because I don't know how long they left me, but they left me for a while if I was dehydrated and all this. So my fat started. It's in my medical records. I have my medical records, by the way. My fat started. My body started consuming my fat, and that is actually what kept me alive. And I was taken to the hospital. I was brought back. Um, Nothing was done, and then you wonder why was nothing done. Okay, so and we go to Mr. Carrizales. Mr. Carrizales. He was 21 years old, and nothing is said about him. Actually, it pretty ridiculous because his thing actually says, uh, a man in Carrizales died 21 years old. No, it didn't even give a name. Uh, and then they gave a name later on that, and it doesn't really say too much detail about his death either. But then we go on to the reason why I'm doing this. And the reason why I'm doing this, well, first of all, let me say that people are going to be upset. People are going to be mad. And I don't know what is going to really come of that. But I know that I've asked God to heal me from my drug addiction, from all of the, all my drug addiction. That was my problem. And I had my children here with me. And I no longer have them with me here for safety reasons. And that is makes me very angry because I lost a lot of time with my children. I got a lot of making up to do, and I cannot be with them right now. They will not give me permission to leave Cameron County. I already asked. Um, I suffer from PTSD, and I can't really go out and talk. I stay in my room really a lot because I got I'm paranoid about being here, and I'm not afraid at all. But I know God protects me, and I know He protects my family. And people are going to be upset. They're going to be upset because I let the cat out the bag. And actually, indeed, Carrizales was put here to honor Cervantes Carrizales in all the destruction that he did successfully, all the evil that he practiced. And that was wonderful to people who were satanic worshippers, people who did black magic, people who did things like that. So think about it. There's a lot of I don't know exactly who, but there's a lot of governmental people who are involved in things like this, and that is why we need to be very careful what we do. You need to go to your doctor. You need to stay with a doctor that you know, and don't go outside of that. Studies, don't do it if you're going to putting you to sleep because you don't know what the hell they're putting in you. You have to be careful now these days, and you have to ask God for forgiveness. First of all, you need to ask God for forgiveness, and you need to pray. Praying, people go pray. You have to pray this way. No, no, no. You pray and you say, you know what, God, just help me, just heal me, just be there for me, please, Lord. I need you. I'm in danger, or whatever it is that you want to say. God hears you. I promise you, because He heard me, and He saved me. And I feel like it is my duty to to help those that will be future abused by this jail, those who have not, uh, those that we do not know about, because I'm sure there's many, those who have been hurt by this jail, those who are afraid to say anything. I am their voice because I am not afraid. And I'm putting this video out because nobody wants to help me. The statute of limitations is up, but I was incarcerated the whole damn statute of limitations. So should there be situations where you should be able to? Because no, it doesn't matter. They don't want to do shit. None of them. They want me to go to these gentlemen right here. These gentlemen right here. Well, guess what? Those gentlemen don't do shit. They ain't gonna help me, and they don't give a damn. My mother went over to go try to go get Omar Lucio to let me see, and he laughed in her face, but then he brought me. And I didn't say shit because I was scared that they were going to kill my family. And yes, I am angry. And yes, I do want my voice to be heard. I want to be the voice for all those who cannot speak. And I hope that you all rest in peace and ask God for forgiveness and go on to heaven, go on to that beautiful paradise. Because indeed, earth is just a temporary stay. Think about it. We're promised two things: life and death. And what you do in between that the little time, that's preparation for your eternity. And your eternity is two places. It's heaven or hell. And I know y'all know about the rapture. People, Google the rapture. God will come. Okay? I'm telling you, I promise you. And he will come at a time nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. I don't care if this one says this date, this date. Nobody knows. Nobody. And I hope that you all are prepared. Do not fall into this evil that goes around. Satan lies, steals, kills, cheats, destroys. He gives you false promises, and people are under the impression that if you give your soul to the devil, that you will gain something. If you sacrifice for him, you will gain something. You gain nothing. It is like a game that you do not win. You play and play and play and play, and he gains, but there's no winning in this game. Because after you do his work, his dirty, where you get your hands dirty, okay, well, he won't roams around here making promises and lies, then you die. And then you burn for eternity. So if you really sit here and think about it, is it worth it? Those who have given your soul over to the devil, what has he given you? If you gained anything, it was because of your brain. If you got something, it was because you were put to work. You worked for it. You did it. Not Lucifer, not any other spirits, not any other nothing. You know why? Because God gave you a brain. God gave you motor functioning skills so you can go to work and get you that check and support your family. You know what Lucifer wants you to do? He wants you to kill your family. He wants you to hurt people. He wants you to rape people. He wants you to sacrifice people. Really? Do you gain from that? Nobody gains from that. So my suggestion is that you ask God for forgiveness before it's too late. Because I unraveled all of this. It took me a while. Lots of sleepless nights. And I know that God put it in front of my face because I had to do this. So please watch this and share. Google all the things that I told you to Google. And be aware of this, that it does go on. Okay? They'll probably kill me. I don't know. But you know what? My voice will be heard for those that will not be able to talk. And if they end me, they silence me after this, so be it. I'm not afraid. I love my children. And I'm not choosing this over my children. Because I hope to God, I feel that God is going to protect me. I know it. I know it. But these evil beings roam around earth. And it's unknown whether they come try to retaliate towards me for saying these things. But I had to let you know the truth. If you are in Cameron County, stay away from jail. Okay? I beg you. I went through terror in this place. And I do not want anybody else to go through what we went through. Okay? Ask God for forgiveness, y'all. I'm serious. This is not a joke. This is the truth. This is the reality. All right? And I'm stuck here. All right. Well, share this, okay, so other people will know. And God bless you.